The day after the holiday.
We'll call the Ways and Means Committee together today, Tuesday, January the 5th, 2016 at 4:04. And Deanne, would you please call the roll?
Kuna?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
Rancic?
Here.
McGee?
Here.
Garrett?
Here.
Lutz?
Here.
Krieger?
Yes.
Martin present.
Thank you, ma'am. We've all had an opportunity to review the minutes of 12/1/2015.
Motion approved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. At this time, we'll allow for public input. Anybody that would like to address Ways and Means, please step to the podium, state your name and whatever issue you'd like to speak on behalf of.
Good afternoon. My name is Terry Spencer. For those that don't know me, I'm a business owner in downtown Bay City. Dunlop's been down there since 1924. I'm also a sergeant with the Benton County Police Department. The reason I came up here today is I actually had some flyers that I wanted to give out to the commission. As most of you are aware, I attended and was invited to speak with the Bay County Convention Network last month in regards to a heroin summit we had at the Lincoln Center here in Bay City. We're also having one on the 12th of next Tuesday, and I wanted to pass that information out to you folks here, just so you're aware of the summit. If that would be okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Begic has a
We
question.
mentioned February 29th, MAC, Michigan Association of Counties, is having a conference, and their lead-off one is on heroin, 2 o'clock to Monday, down in Lansing, February 29th.
Okay.
I'm trying to address it from a county perspective.
And I would encourage, sir, that if, I know a couple people were here at the meeting, but if they would contact Bay County Convention Network. I know they have plans on continuing this. They've done one in Bay City, they've done one in Sim County now, and they have plans to do them in other locations in the county. And I feel it'd be more productive if we were all working together with us a little bit. So just to put this information out to you folks.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Spencer? All right. Anybody else would like to address Ways and Means? All right, seeing no one else is coming forward, under our next order of business, from Petitions and Communications, we have the Director of Administrative Services, and this is an award of the net asset distribution of $253,000 plus from MMRMA. And Mr. Tim McClory is in the audience. Well, let's have a motion here.
Support.
Moved and supported. Is there any, well, we'll introduce Mr. McClory. Tom, did you want to?
Well, I think if Tim would like to step up to the podium for starters and maybe just give the board the background on what this is all about.
As you see, my name is Tim McClory. I'm the risk manager for the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority. I'm happy to be here. This is part of my job that I really love. When I'm able to give back, the reason I'm able to give back is because of our members. You guys are members of the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority, but it's members like you who believe that the MMRMA way back when and have been a long-time member. MMRMA is not an insurance company, because I'd like to say this because we're a group of self-insured governmental entities across the state of Michigan. The reason we exist is because commercial insurers bailed on you guys back in the late 70s, early 80s, so we reformed. We've been doing it right ever since. Our mantra, and you guys participate at every level, is proactive risk management. We offer you grant monies to help you not have the losses, and when we're not having losses, we're having good financial results. That results in money given back to a member, because we're not an insurance company. So when there's money to be had, we give the money back to our members, whereas an insurance company just sends checks out to dividend, in this form of dividends out to stockholders. So we have this. I have a check here today to give back to you, and this is your portion of the $45.1 million MMRMA gave back to its members last year, bringing the total since 2006 to just under $195 million returned to the membership. So on behalf of the MMRMA, I thank you for your membership, and I'm proud to present a check in the amount, I want to get it right, because it's a big one,
Ernie.
$253,599 to the county bank, so.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
If you want to present that to,
I want to get here first so I can check. Yeah, after I drop it off, you guys can fight it.
You're not authorizing the board chair, this time you're authorizing a director.
for emergency management.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's not big.
So don't say.
Already? I'll just, the re-
Of course, I'm on for questions if you have any, but I will leave this with you.
You can give it to me.
Yeah, I'll give her that.
Ernie, is that another green team? What is it, 400?
If I could,
Deanne, did we
Mr.
move
Chair.
and support this yet or no? It's been moved and supported. Okay. Did anybody have any questions for Mr. McClure? Tom?
Well, I was just going to mention that the overall assets of the authority is approaching, I think, 450 million or so.
Yeah.
I should know that number precisely because I'm on the finance committee, but I don't. So,
Yeah, but it's, again, we exist at the pleasure of our membership, and the formula that goes into it is how long have you been a member, how much you put into the pot, and how much you've taken out of the pot. That's it's a real easy way to figure out how much you get back out of the 45.1 million. But the key factor in that is longevity, and that's why your check is so big.
Oh, thank you, sir. Anybody else? Commissioner Begitt?
Just sort of wondering how we've done compared to other years, how this one compares to, say, last year or the last few years when you have the
Well, let's see, last year, you guys got a check for $168,000, $168,135. The total distribution since 2006 for Bay County, the total amount of all distributions, total $1,138,757 returned to the county. Trust that answers your question. This is your second largest distribution.
Tim, could you also let them know how much we've received in RAP grant funding?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons, again, I talked a little bit about the grant monies that we afford you to help you not have losses. We want to be a risk management partner more than we want to be an insurance company, because we're not an insurance company. So as a risk management partner, we make available $1,250,000 a year to our members to access for risk management projects. Strictly related to property, reducing property losses, reducing liability losses. That total is a little over, almost $43,000, and I don't think this includes the most recent round of grants, which I believe you guys got a couple more. So
That's right.
So you guys, I encourage all your department heads to participate. There's the RAP application is on the website, and it's readily available. I'm sure Debbie can distribute it to your department heads if you want to look at some of the things that we do. There's a list of standard RAP grants, and as you can imagine, a lot of them are law enforcement related. A good majority of them, because that's probably our largest area of exposure. But we do run the gamut. We also included in the last couple of years a certification and accreditation program, which enables those employees of the counties that need to be accredited or certified. We'll help you make sure they get those certifications. And on that, normally like the RAP situation is like a 50-50. We'll give you 50 cents on the dollar, you guys come up with the other 50. Then this, for a cap, for the certification accreditation program, we'll give you 75 cents to you 25 cents. So 75-25 on cap program. So I highly encourage your participation. It's money that's sitting out there. If you can take advantage of it, it's only going to be good things, and it's only going to mean I can continue to stop and see it once a year with this. So.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you.
Under B from the Bay County Sheriff Department, we have from Securus Technologies, this is the third amendment to the Inmate Facility Services Agreement.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 2 would be the Correctional Healthcare Company's contract.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 3 would be the RAP grant application. I think we were speaking, this is for the X-ray screening machine that broke in the courthouse.
So. Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We have the road patrol pooled contract for fiscal year 2016-2017.
So moved.
Support. Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. From the Director of Recreation and Facilities, the first is the fee schedule for the Bay County Golf Course.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Does anybody have any questions? We had some discussion on this earlier. Is this the one that on the, what page was that on?
19.
That you were going to come back, or we were going to refer this, weren't we? Till next week?
Yep, and then what I'll do is just update the last paragraph with the baseline inventory updates, and I'll have it back to you by next
Yeah.
week.
So if we just refer this till next Tuesday, I think you put a good schedule together to consolidate, but that last page on the inventory, I think we're going to make a little change on that. Commissioner Begic.
Just had a question about greens fees, because that's usually what questions on it. Is this an increase, or what? How does it compare to what before?
Nope, there's no increase, and Brent's here to talk about it if you would like, but there's only very minimal increases. What we did is we just consolidated them. Before it was you paid for green fees and you paid for a cart. Now we're saying if you're walking, you can pay for your green fees. If you're riding, here's the price of those two things together. So it's just more of a consolidation. There's very few new items on the list.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Then a motion to refer to next Tuesday would be in order.
So moved.
Support.
If there's no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 2 would be the fee schedule addition. This is for the indoor baseball golf program at the community center.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. I believe D, the Director of the Division on Aging, we're going to refer that back. Number 1, the Senior Dining Center Agreements. Motion to refer back to administration.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Commissioner Begic.
Commissioner Durancheck and I were at the township meeting for Williams Township, and they were talking about this fee and it not having been increased in the last several years, and I got the impression they'd like it to be increased, but we may not want to increase it, but I just want to say that they mentioned that it hadn't really been increased a whole lot, or at all, in the last couple of years. Maybe we can't do it, but just passing along what they were.
Right. I think that's one of the reasons we're referring it back, to get some additional information on it. Commissioner Krieger.
Yeah, just add to that, one of the things we need to continue to look at is the amount of individuals that are making it there to lunch. That numbers continues to dwindle, and it looks like the Meals on Wheels have increased and the activity at the community center. So I think it's a good opportunity for administration and us to take a look at the facilities and what we're being provided towards these seniors.
I think one of the discussions, they had just remodeled out there, apparently, the kitchen and facilities, so they felt because they had upgraded the facilities, I know their numbers are not usually don't hit 20 out there, so they're usually on the low side. But they did say they had upgraded their facilities, so they were hoping to get some more money. So, just passing it along.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. No other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 2, we have A&D Home Health Care Incorporated. This is a waiver contract.
So moved.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Under E, we have the Emergency Management Coordinator. This is the 2016 Hazardous Material Emergency Preparation Grant for the local Emergency Planning Committee.
So moved.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Under F, from the Juvenile Home Director, this is a memorandum of understanding with the Mobile Kids Dental.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Commissioner Krieger.
Is Julie here? Question for you, if you would, please. Very good. We'll let your fingers do the walking then. So if we have a person, a young man or a young lady that's out at the facility, what's the length of time if they have issues with poor dental and they need to be addressed? Are they there long enough to have the x-rays and whatever needs to be done to correct it, or is this just strictly a proactive program that they're all exposed to?
It's basically proactive, and the company will call us. A lot of other detention facilities throughout the state have been utilizing it, saying it's great. Really, it's no cost to the facility or the counties whatsoever. They come in, they get the names of all the residents, get permission slips from the parents, and they'll come in that day, examine the residents. They will do nothing that costs us any money without my approval. So I wouldn't approve anything unless it absolutely has to be done.
Okay. Okay.
That work?
Yeah, works for me. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. No other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 2 is a service contract with Mobile X USA, and that is similar to, well, it's just providing x-ray. Julie, did you want to, if you want to give folks a little background on this, I think it's a good program that's you're putting together there.
The mobile x-ray, they come right into the facility and they'll do the x-ray. We have our residents that punch walls, some get injured playing volleyball or whatever. And instead of having to take them out to the ER to get the x-ray, they will come in within 24 hours to provide the x-ray with the order of our facility doctor. And then within the next probably 5 hours, I think she said, they would provide the copy of the x-ray and everything to the facility and any recommendations that they require. And it's just a per fee basis, or per event they charge.
And we also have a cost associated with the way we do it now, with taking staff.
Right now, residents, we'd have to call in 2 staff, take the residents out, and on occasion, we have to call the sheriff's office to come in and take the residents out for the x-ray. So it saves a lot of money in terms of the cost that it takes to go to the ER to get this x-ray, the staffing, the liability of a resident taking off, which we've had happen. So it's a lot easier to have it done in the building.
All right, I see Commissioner Durancheck has a question.
Security, when this x-ray company comes in, is that handled from the sheriff's department, or do you have to notify them in case it's an off? Because it's probably not in the building.
Oh, no, it comes right in.
Comes right in?
Comes right in the
Okay.
building. Yep, they do it at nursing homes and other facilities. They do it at the sheriff's office.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. No other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 would be a service contract with BizStream. That's out of the juvenile home as well.
So
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Under G, from the Buildings and Ground, this is the project manager, major capital improvement projects. I think that's all been budgeted. It's just going out asking for permission to get some bids.
So moved.
Support. Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We have some payables, accounts payable, Bayonet, Center Ridge Arms.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. From the Finance Officer, we have an analysis of the general fund equity for 2015. Motion to receive would be in order.
So moved.
Support?
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. From, we have the Executive Directive 2007-11, It's an update. Motion to receive.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We have a contract extension for office supply agreement.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Under 4, we have an amendment to the Ricoh Copier contract, and I think it's some significant savings there, so
So moved.
moved and supported. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? Kristen, I see you. Crystal, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, I was going to say Francis is here if anyone did have any questions on that.
Oh, I saw the numbers, you were tracking that real well, Francis, so that's a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Does anybody have any questions? If no other questions, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Any referrals? Oh, yes, we have. We're going to do that under, what do you want to do that under, Deanne? New business, okay. Any referrals? Any unfinished business? We have a couple of things under new business. The first is Bay County Veterans Foundation grant. It's a grant application. And Keith Markstrom is here. Keith, I saw you. He is here. Let's get a motion on this. And then
Support.
moved and supported. Keith, you want to give us a little background?
Yeah, just a quick update. The Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency notified us through our Region 5 coordinator about a week and a half ago that there are funds available to either add veteran service officer or hours here in an adjacent county. There's several grants for that. They also have one for IT support, either expansion or new, up to $5,000. We talked some time ago about the Bay Veterans Foundation, which is still in process, using some of the space on the second floor. This would provide copier, printer, computer terminals, and so on, could be integrated with the county system. It would give us the ability to start to establish a database for veterans in this county. And we've talked about it with Tom for some time. Currently, the status of technology in that area on the fourth floor is, but with the recent resignation of Bruce Douglas, who is not seeking to fill another term on soldier sailors, we think this would be a great time to bring technology, get that whole area updated, and it would be a great opportunity to outreach to veterans in the county and maybe adjacent. So we're actually, I see where the language Deanne's put in up is 5,000, but I don't think that I think we're not even quite $2,000.
Actually, I think it was a little more than
Was it
that
that?
with all of the equipment, because we were requesting.
Yeah, a
two
couple of
terminals.
office chairs and so on. So, and this actually has to be applied by the county. So I'm assuming this would become county property. But it would be available for the Bay Veterans Foundation, Soldier Sailors, Michigan Trust, if Karen wants to access it. So that's kind of a little background. This is no match required. This is strictly through the MVAA, and there will be another cycle. My understanding is $250,000 that's allocated for this funding period, and only about $60,000 have been applied for. It's critical, though. It's due tomorrow, but because of the short time frame we've had, and the way this meeting and your board meeting falls next week, if you can get authorization on this, I'll notify them that there's a soft approval and have to wait till any action next week.
All right, thank you, sir. I see Commissioner Krieger had a question,
Yeah,
Keith.
just, so this is going to be manned by volunteers,
Yes.
and it's something that's parallel to what we do with Mr. Schuster, correct? I mean, you're not doing the same thing. It's
No.
two different,
no,
same
no.
floor, different.
No, I wouldn't even tie in with what Art does.
So there's no confusion out there.
Yeah, I have to tell you, there's a manual system. It's a notebook. And I don't know how our process is and so on. We can't pull reports off. We don't know how many people we serve, how many veterans and families we serve, unless somebody hand tabulates that. So It's gonna get us up to speed, and it's gonna be a lot better for us going down the future.
Well, thank you, and the volunteers, thank you also.
All right, thank you, Keith. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. B would be the Director of Recreation and Facilities, it's equipment for a cardio drumming class.
Some support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Commissioner Tilley.
Don't they can't they use just the, what do they call those, the buckets? I just saw them the other night on New Year's in Detroit. They're out there in the streets playing on the buckets, but hey.
Put anything in it?
What's it? No, they just played, they said they played the buckets in the street, and they're good. They're phenomenal.
All right. No other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. And C would be from the sheriff, it's the 2016 Equitable Sharing Program.
Motion approved?
Support?
Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. And that's all the business that we have under the new business. We have no closed session. Anybody have anything under miscellaneous? Commissioner Beget.
I think we all received an email from Tom Baird, who's active in the community, about the panhandling issue. And the last I heard, Bay County was working on a resolution, and I don't think they finalized it yet. It's fairly complicated because other cities have done it, and you have to sort of watch how you do it because it may be unconstitutional, and some have been thrown out. So and I've talked to Monitor Township about it, and they're sort of waiting for the city to get theirs done. Maybe use their legal advice to find out what's the best draft of a resolution to do that. So it sounds like it's being worked on, and I think Commissioner Tilley responded to him. Yeah.
Commissioner Tilley.
The city has an ordinance, and what's happened is they moved from the city out to Bangor Township now. You know, and we should need to have some discussions, I think, with Amber, of course, and maybe Tom and Ernie. I'd be happy to work on it with you as well. I don't know if it's the territory that the county wants to get involved in. I kind of like we deal with property and leave the zoning up to the townships and these types of issues up to the townships, because it wouldn't apply necessarily to all the townships getting up north into, you know, Gibson and what have you, that I don't know how much of an issue they'd have with it. Not that it wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, I mean, overall, but I think maybe we should handle this on a case-by-case basis, but let's have some discussions and go forward.
Tom?
Amber can provide the board with some background.
Part of the difficulty that you run into with a county-wide ordinance, especially when you're dealing with, because they're technically called, or panhandling ordinances that consistently been labeled. And the difficulty is, as recently as last year, there was a U.S. Supreme Court decision with regards to these panhandling ordinances because they've determined that it is a protected form of speech. And so since it is a protected First Amendment right, you can't criminalize the conduct, and you have to be very, very creative in how you craft any type of ordinance to prohibit it. The difficulty that we as a county have is that we are only given the power to regulate certain things. We're given that power by statute. And in this particular case, the statute says that we can govern county business. And consistently, that has been interpreted as governing activities that occur on county property. And as such, if you try to impose a countywide ordinance for something such as panhandling, you are going to be regulating the business of different townships, different villages, different cities, which is not allowed. You're basically usurping their authority. And I think that a countywide ordinance would likely be found to be unenforceable for that reason.
Commissioner Tilley.
Where does vagrancy fall in this? I mean, John can answer, I don't know. If they're, I know they're panhandling, at the same time, it's against a lot of vagrants. And I know it's only typically used when it's really cold outside or somebody's causing problems in front of the business. So where does that fall into this?
I think you'd have a hard time enforcing the vagrancy laws. It's come to my attention, some of the people panhandling have retirements from General Motors. It's something the townships have to deal with. I've contacted Monitor and Bangor in regard to it. That's where the problem is. They have to enact an ordinance. The county has turned so that the county can't enforce an ordinance against that.
And the townships can creatively come, or cities, the municipalities can come up with creative ordinances that do prohibit things such as fraud. You can't, hold up a sign that says, homeless have no money, when in fact you do, because at that point in time, if they give you the money, you're perpetuating fraud. That's really why a lot of the municipalities have gone to ordinances that actually criminalize the behavior of giving money to panhandlers as opposed to the panhandlers asking for the money. So, and even those types of cases are coming under a lot of scrutiny where people are saying, well, it's my First Amendment right to be able to provide the support. Whether or not that's going to be protected or not, we don't know.
Commissioner?
And I'm also curious as to, it's hard to tell once we start arresting these people or questioning these people, how much is really tied into the heroin, issue that's going on in our community, that's why they're out there panhandling or whatever you want to call it, or if they're just simply out there trying to scam the consumer because it's an easy way to make a fast buck, or they may have gambling issues or whatever else it might be. I know we're walking on thin ice with a lot of these things, so, but I appreciate your input.
I think observing, as we all have observed, that unfortunately a portion of this, I don't know what extent, is a mental health issue. And we've had discussions on mental health, period. And hopefully down the road, at a higher level than what we are at, they will make some decisions to address and to treat these folks, because they, I think there's probably a number of reasons. I think mental health is one of them. So, Commissioner, be good.
Some of the comments I received, that these people say they're veterans, but they're not veterans, and we should go up and question them about, and talk and ask them. I mean, that's their privacy thing. There's some privacy rules about what you can go up and, they can volunteer it, but you can't go up and say, are you really a veteran, and show me your card and stuff like that. It's sort of trampling their civil rights in too if you're trying to extract information from them.
Commissioner Tiller.
If they're out there doing something they know is, whether it's not illegal but illicit, you think they're going to tell you the truth? I'm just saying. So.
All right. Anybody else have any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Yeah.
What was
discussion? That was just discussion.
Oh, that was I was just checking to see if you were paying attention. All right, that was, now we're under, we have no miscellaneous. Any announcements? Vaughn, you got anything? All right, Mike?
Motion to adjourn is always in order.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah,